should have did that a while back. Make sure I don't have any things exposed in here that shouldn't be. And again, I got one on here. It actually says share to groups. I think I might want to do that. It always gives me a time to ramble about shit while I'm sharing. Basically, right now, I can't see you guys. I'm actually sharing to a lot of groups out there. I think I got over 100 of these groups that I'll start. That way it goes on. The live podcast will get spread out there. If you guys have a podcast or a channel, always join a lot of groups, softball groups, and I have. Mine is Senior Softball and a U-Trip market too. I've actually added that into there. Mainly, it's not only because of what I do right now, it's not only seniors anymore. It's basically all softball. Ramble a little bit here. Make sure I click on the right things because I have a lot of groups to deal with the Alamo because I'm into that Alamo stuff. And just Texas history. I have a lot of groups. Western Underground group, Alamo Descendants, Page. I call them groups. A lot of people call them pages. Arizona, there you go. Arizona softball, buy, sell, and trade. That's not Arizona. Clem. Did you not see me, Clem? What? I see Arizona. Why are you, a lot of you guys, I don't understand this, man. And what I got when I was, a lot of you guys that have problems with me are afraid to come up and talk to me. That's what I got with a lot of guys that were actually in the past that I've had problems with, and there's not a lot of them. There's a few of them that act, are very opinionated, and I can be too. But whenever you're out there and you send people in to say, hey, tell Dave I said hi, and you don't even come talk to me, I mean, that's kind of, I don't understand why. I mean, come up and talk to me. I'm not a violent guy. I'm not going to fight anybody. It's just because you can have a disagreement with somebody and doesn't mean that you're afraid to come up and talk to me. A couple of guys did that last week. A couple of guys that I've had past with, words, won't come up and talk to me. I don't understand why. I'm very approachable, And when you send your buddies in to say, hey, he said hi, well, tell them to come in here, talk to me. Nope. He doesn't want to come in here. Why? It's funny. When you guys do that, it makes me believe that you're that keyboard warrior. Marcus is putting up with some now, the guy that would say whatever he wanted to online, but he won't come up and approach you and talk to you about what his problem is with you. I'm very approachable. I'm not that guy where you can at least talk to me and tell me what your problem is. I didn't want to push that one. I don't like pushing in Legends of Softball because there's a lot of the guys on there, and I'm not saying anything bad about them. A few of them are my friends, but there's a few of you guys out there that just angry at the world. So the Legends of Softball, I kind of try to stay away from them because they always, not all of them, guys. It's another thing too. It's not black and white. It's just, there's not all of them, but they tend to be very angry about something in their life, and whenever they see, they always got to comment on stuff, new technology or just stuff out there that I think is, why do you got to be an ass, My arm's hurting from That's where this reaches out to everybody and actually talks. Spreading the word. Oh, that hurts. Spreading the word, spreading the love. So, whoa, look, 29:30. Guys, first and foremost, I'm going to have a... see, that's what I like. When people get on here and they'll actually reply to things, talking to them in the dugout, or talking to them, just talking to them in the dugout. Yes, because when I was playing, I was talking to some people that would come up to the dugout and talk to me because I didn't play every game. So, the one thing I got out of the 3 weeks that I was there, and I did not get bored at all. I did not. It's good to be home, but I enjoyed myself when I was there because this is a movement that we talk about. And the better, what's up, Trey? Did Clem know I was coming on tonight? Because he's actually text messaging me. And yes, Clem, bring the U-Trip bats tomorrow. And Patty, I did not know your name was Patty. See, I'm just going to talk about that. I did not know your name was not Albright. It's actually pronounced different than that. And I do butcher it every time I'm up here, and you never corrected me. So I apologize for that. And because I've talked about my name being butchered, and it doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. I just, I put that little thing out there to actually pronunciation about the pronunciation, and it was just being fun, basically. But a lot of you guys out there, man, and I don't understand this. Is a lot of you guys out there don't come up and like I'm not approachable, and I'm as you guys know. That came up to the tent is I am very approachable and I like talking, and I'm not put out by any of this shit. I'm really not, stopping and, even when we're going places, I'll stop and talk to people about everything. There's a few things that I want to talk about that I've learned in the last 3 weeks. But I want to get my intro first. I want to get it all out of the way. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, X. I'm on every one of those under either I'm under there on Short Porch. I don't know, a few other names. Cutting Edge. My YouTube channel is Short Porch Cutting Edge, and basically that's what we're doing. We're cutting edge stuff. We're in I'm gonna kind of go ramble here a little bit. But just to give you an example, there is a design that me and Short Porch talked about 2 years ago in Florida in the parking lot till 11:30 at night. It was 50 degrees outside, 55 degrees outside, and we were talking about all of that in the parking lot, and it was a design on a bat. Something I thought about years ago, maybe 10 years ago. And all of a sudden they're driving up to Vegas, and they put that design to paper and sent it to me. It says, this is what you were talking about 2 years ago. I didn't even not know, because I shared that information with them 2 years ago, and just now they're developing a bat the way I talked to Jay Hill. Nice meeting you, guy. Finally. And I've talked to you. I think I've seen you before in the past, Jay Hill. And I have squirrel moments. So they kept this design for 2 years, and then finally they put it to, and it's a 2-piece, and they put it to pen and paper. They designed it, and it actually is in their hands right now, and they did testing on it the last couple of days, and they're going to send it to me. Probably get it next week, and we'll hit with it. Cage is coming down with me next week, and we're probably going to hit that and some U-Trip bats. Cage Kessler, and he's coming down Saturday, I think. He's going to hang out with me, and then we're going to hit some bats next week. He's already shipped them. See, I don't need to be reading you guys stuff. There's Birdie again, talk about a smoked salmon. And guys, my website, and this is something that I've been, and I haven't talked to Jeff about this, but I think he's going to come on later on, and we're going to talk about this. But the reason the movement is soft barrel, hard barrel, medium barrel, and I'm only going to have 3 categories when it comes to this, and they're basically going to be medium soft, medium, and medium hard is what they're going to get. Now, you guys remember my website had 5 different categories. When I actually put bats in, I categorized them, right? And when I was doing reviews, so you can have 5 different number ones. And when it comes to balanced bats too, you can have 3. I think I had 3 in that category. Could add 5, but you can have 5 different number ones depending on your bat speed. What's going on, Dennis? See, now I can put faces with names. So you're going to have maybe 5, 3, maybe. I think what we're going to start off with is 3 categories. I'm talking about my website. If you go to my website, it's actually under SeniorSoftballBatReviews.com. And I've not changed that name because I had that website for a long time. And if you go to that website, you'll see that it's under construction. I'm actually working on what you guys are asking me about short porches, categorizing short porches bats. Compared to bat speed. There is numbers in my head, and I haven't shared with a lot of people out there, and I'm going to do it with short porch about weight distribution and well, they already know that part, but barrel speed. I mean, barrel flex when it comes to barrel speed. Yes, how fast you swing the bat and putting a bat in your hands. That's basically what we did for 3 weeks, man. Guys would come up to the tent and carry and guys would come up to their tent and carry bats with them that they heard about short porch and they want to get into a short porch bat. And what the first thing they would come there and ask and say, hey, I don't know what my bat speed is. Then we start asking questions. And Todd and Sarah, were talking to me about this. Like, what if we don't have a bat speed tester? How can we tell? Well, the first thing, you would say exit velo. Like, if I could get you pretty close. And I've talked to Sarah and Todd about this. If you tell me your exit velo numbers, I can basically get pretty close to your bat speed. And they don't even know that, because a lot of people out there do not know their exit velo, do not know their bat speed. So basically I would ask them, can you hit it out of a 300-foot park? How close can you get it to the fence? So I can put you in your miles per hour when it gets you pretty close when it comes to that too. So what I started doing, before I go ramble off here, what I started doing with that website, SeniorSoftballBatReviews.com, is I started building for Short Porch, and Short Porch later on will probably put it on their website where you can actually pick up bats compared to how fast you're swinging, right? Because that's what the movement is. Movement is a lot of things. Movement is weight distribution, handle flex, barrel flex, bat speed. So basically what we're trying to get in your hands, it's no longer, guys, and I've said this when I had Senior Softball Bat Reviews, it's no longer one bat fits everybody. A lot of bat companies had tried and failed with that method in the past. And I kind of would hint around when I was doing my reviews for the last 15 years. I was kind of hint around where this bat's just not made for everybody. It's got a hard barrel, and the seniors out there are not going to like it that are in that older age. And I've talked to some guys that belong to that company this past 3 weeks, and I said the problem is you guys got into, it's hard to get, when you're doing a fast pitch bat that is as good as your product, it's hard to get into a senior bat and start to know what seniors want. I think the best bat manufacturers out there get into seniors first and then go into the branch into the U-Trip and the ASA and the fast pitch and baseball and stuff like that. Because what I've seen in the last 15 years is a lot of, Chad, how you doing? A lot of the guys out there that try to transition from that U-Trip, they're all thinking U-Trip, right? And they're thinking U-Trip. They're not thinking senior with the diminishing bat speed. So they'll make a U-Trip bat to go with a senior, and it just doesn't work that way, guys. It really doesn't. So I think a lot of the guys out there, that's getting into that senior first and branching out, they're just ahead of the curve, I would say. The website is actually being built right now. I'm going to start putting bats in categories for Short Porch only. My wife, and if you guys look on there, you can actually see it. It's SeniorSoftballBatReviews.com. I've had it for years. Had it for, shoot, 14, 13 years. And it's still there. Traffic to it is not as, because I hadn't been working with it. Finally, I started working with it last night and putting numbers to, you know, bat speeds on the categories that we're going to divide them up. And guys, there's variance in that. Somebody was saying the other day with another bat company that you know, it's, you know, so 50 miles an hour, you know, compared to 52 miles an hour, 55 miles an hour. There's, you know, there's variance in there. There's no absolutes when it comes to that. If you get close to that number, just see what bat, you know, you were like when it changes over from number to number when it calls talking about bat speed. If you guys know what I'm talking about, you've been with me for a long time, you'll kind of catch on, and this will be pretty quick for you new guys that are coming on. You know, it's just something that we've been doing for the last 15 years. And like I said, you know, Charlie Mueller, how you doing, Charlie? How's the knee? Charlie had knee replacement surgery, and he wanted to come out. He wanted to come out tomorrow here with us. We're like, no way, Charlie. That's a hell of a drive. Come down here with a replaced knee. But I hear things are going good. Charlie Mueller. And what in the past 3 weeks, what I saw is a lot of people that were a lot of people that were understanding what we're trying to push or understanding what we're talking about. And I think that's pretty awesome, pretty great. And just talking to me, you know, in the dugout or in the underneath the tent, or even at the managers meeting, you know, when we were there talking to people. Got to take a lot of pictures with a lot of great people too, and that's like it almost feel like I talked to my wife about this. It's almost feels like I'm embarrassed a little bit because I don't think I'm worthy, you know. And when people coming up to me and telling me, hey, you changed me because I listened to the way you eat. And one guy said, you're the one that got me off the couch and when I was 50, and just by talking to me about nutrition and health and getting off my butt and getting out there and working. I mean, that's gratification for me. That makes me feel pretty damn good. There are some things that I want to talk about. I don't want to get into too much into that. Compression testing at SSUSA this last weekend. I did a video on it. I'm going to go back and make sure everybody saw that video. And I did a video on it. What they're testing for, and I'll talk to Jeff. Jeff's up here right now, and I'm going to talk to him later on about the compression testing. Basically, they did it with us, a random, and that's how I got the video, a random, we won the game, and they randomly compression test our bats. There were two that failed. One at 137 and one at 140, the same guy with the same model of bat. One with a 27, the other one was a 26. And I kept telling him before it actually, when he was hitting it, this is a tall 6'4", and I know he doesn't watch my stuff, but this is a tall 6'4" guy, has tremendous power, and he squared the ball up, and I told him that bat's imploding. He goes, no way, I just bought it a month and a half ago on the 27 ounce. And I go, no, it's imploding. I said, watch. And he cut a ball. He actually won a game for us. And in the buffet, he had a 3-run home run to win the game. Definitely. 179, man. How did you get out of bed with 179 testosterone, Rick? But he kept using it, the bat, after it compression tested at 145. There's other one compression at 145. 137, he kicked that one out. So 145, and I told him, man, you're just too much leverage. You know, you've got to go up to at least a 190, 200 compression, because he was swung the bat very hard. And I kept telling that. Well, he didn't believe me, but he played the whole tournament, and you can tell when he was squared up, it wouldn't go anywhere. When he'd cut it, it'd go a mile. The ball he hit to win the game, he cut it, and it went 370 in the parking lot. But later on, you can see where he's squaring balls up, and it almost looks like he had a parachute on it when it was going, just not going anywhere. and he was on my team. And after the tournament was over, we did pretty good. After the tournament was over, and after the tournament was over, he come up to me, is that what you're talking about, that last out I made? I said, that's exactly what I'm talking about, is that last out you made. So just spreading that knowledge with people where bats, lose compression quite a bit. I understand what SSUSA is doing. They're actually doing something, and they have caught some people out there that were caught with shaved bats. Two that I know of, a 65 and a 70-year-old guy. And then what happens is that's just who they caught right now. A lot of you guys need to understand this. That is just who they caught right now. That's not, they're sending bats out to get tested, right? So these bats from the bat manufacturer, and they're sending them to the bat people, right? The people, let's say, and I don't want to call anybody out because I don't get too far into this, but let's say you have Joe Blow's bat, where they're going to send it to Joe Blow Company to actually get testing on that bat to call them out. Now, a lot of you guys think that's a bad idea. I really don't. And a lot of you guys picked out one company on a text message that I was watching and saying that guy's not going to call out his own bat that owns his bat manufacturer, and he's not going to call out his own bat and expose his own people. Guys, I do not believe that. I actually think, and it was with this company that I've known the guy. We don't talk anymore, but I've known the guy, and that's bullshit. The guy will call out because he's one of the advocates on getting rid of shaved bats. And I've talked to him in the past. And I do like his integrity when it comes to shaving bats. He has been around for a long time. He's one of the little guys that are coming up. And whenever they said that, why are you sending him bats? Because he's not going to call out his own group of people. Yes, he will. He damn sure will. I know that for a fact. So you don't have to worry about that. The majority of the people out there that own companies do want the bat shaving to go away. Believe it or not, but they do. And this guy was called out on social media saying he's not going to do it. Yes, he will do it. I know him. I've talked to him in the past. We don't talk much lately, but I have talked to him in the past, and he's a good guy. He will actually call him out because he doesn't like him, and he will fry your ass. Guarantee you. He will fry your ass if you got caught with a shaved bat, with one of his shaved bats. Compression testing, 140. A lot of you guys don't know that. I don't know why, but 140 compression testing. I don't know why. At Big League Dreams, I saw this a lot. A lot of other people. That costs money, Jerry. Now you're looking at something different. I mean, Jerry asked, why don't you make the bats where they can't be shaved? Well, that makes money. That costs money. To do a rollover, they're going to have to change the machine. There's just so much that goes into bats to actually do that. I talked about, not only I, but a lot of other people, I'm not saying me alone, talked about it in the past about putting a chip in it and then having the umpires have a chip, in their phone, and they can just run it over the cap and see if the bat has been altered. That way it makes it, like a lot of people said that, well, that can be, why don't they just, the guys who shave the bats go out and get a chip and match that chip and just put it back in there? Well, that costs money for them too. So you got to make a deterrent. So a chip probably would be, and I didn't come up with that idea, a chip would probably be something in there in the future where they can just put it in that end cap. And if you break the seal, when you break the seal, it actually brings out a red flag. We have an app on a phone where the umpires would have and just run it over the top to check all the bats to make sure they haven't been altered. That's another thing too. But at least they're doing something. At least they caught some people. And from the first week that we were there were 47 bats. I'm thinking there was 47 bats that actually were taken up, that failed compression, that were being sent off to actually the bat manufacturers to be looked into to see if they actually were shaved, and then get back to them and tell them, hey, this was shaved or this was not. I think the integrity of a lot of bat companies are really good out there. I think they will expose people, and then maybe names would be mentioned later on. And I did hear that SSUSA it will share, and will ban any. Will share the names with all the other organizations out there that run tournaments with them, and exposing these people. I did hear that too. That they said that they will share that information, because that was one of the biggest things, was that they weren't going to share the information or get together and ban everybody, like Matt Barnes, is running his tournament. That's information Matt would want to know about the people that were called in this tournament, SSUSA. And then all of a sudden Matt would actually take that information, which he will, because he's been preaching it for, a month, right? So he'll take that information and he'll apply it to his tournament, where that same guy cannot get into his tournament either. So across the board, and Matt had talked about this in his podcast, where what's happening, because I think Matt not giving up on it, people are starting to listen, and people are starting to join in where, yes, he did. I think I got that information from you, Patty, where he had said he will share that information to public. So that's a deterrent, guys, and about the bat shavers, because it's bad. It's bad, guys. It's bad. I did hear, and then you have the people that complain, not really complain, but really don't know. People that don't know. I was actually watching the lady. I was watching Patty play, and in a tournament, and in the tournament out there with the ladies, and this lady was up in the bleachers and was talking to the tournament director about I guess her team had been accused of, a lot of people out there, the accusations toward her team was a lot of girls shaved bats, and what they were going to do about it. And they said, well, it's random testing. They just can't pick out, you can't volunteer your team just to get tested, to verify the rumors or get the rumors taken away. It's actually random. She was mad because the tournament director was, no, that's not the way it works. And then she goes, well, how are you going to catch them? And said, well, what we do is what they did with us is they stopped the game. When they're out there in the huddle, the tournament director came over and told everybody, do not go to your, grab all your bats. Do not go to the concession stand. It's a single file. Grab your bat bags. We're going to test everything in the bat bag, and we're going to go over here, and then we're going to sit down, and nobody is to leave. And they have other people behind them that are watching them, just in case they got out of line or tried to put a bat away. So they watched everybody take those bats out. That's the way it was with us. I did not see what it was going on between the other people, but that's the way they did us. They took them in line, and there was another director back behind, kind of stealthy, just watching people to make sure they didn't get out of line or go to their vehicles or take the bats to their vehicles or whatever. Well, this lady was actually telling the tournament director, what about the bats that they left in their vehicle that are shaped? And the tournament director goes, well, they didn't use those bats in the game. We usually grab them right after the game's over with, and they had to come in. We can't do nothing. They didn't use those bats. We can't do nothing about those bats. And I don't know where this, yes. I was saying yes to Patty because she said same. And guys, it's not, I'm sure there's some people that can get away with it, but they have to be real sneaky about it if they are carrying a shaved bat and they're trying to get rid of it. They did look inside their bags whenever they're pulling them out to make sure they got all of them in there. But a lot of people were like, oh, we don't have no problem with that. We don't have, they're like, we didn't have no problem with that. And they pull their bats in and they get tested. The ones that failed the compression test, they took them, and took them away, got their names and everything. And, and a few of them were given back at the end whenever, even crack bats too. Actually, they took the crack bats away from them too. Because usually if you have a crack bat, it's going to fail compression anyway. So that compression level is going to get really low when you have a crack bat. Always happen. It's soup, not sup. Somebody said sup, Clem. Anyway, I think I've talked to him blue in the face on that. The one thing I have, the one thing I have learned, hey, Clem Cage will be here next week. The one thing I have learned is I was always on the outside looking in. Rachel, I was on the outside looking in, and now I'm on the inside. So I have a little bit more knowledge on, I have a little bit more knowledge on the what is done on the inside. I'm trying not to say shit. There was something that happened to me. Todd, how you doing, Todd? And there was something that's how come. I need to say it, but I was at a tournament. I was at a game, and we were playing actually. So I was at the tent, and these 5 guys came up there, and they were talking to us, and I was kind of talking about my bats. So they bought 2 of my bats, and I went up to get ready to start playing, but I was a little early. It was at Big League Dreams. I'm on the fields on the left when you walk in. I was on that backfield, but I was at Short Porch tent talking to the Hawaiian guys, and all of a sudden, they are going by walking, and somebody had yelled out about my bat and said some things that weren't true. And then when the guys talked to me about it later on, I go, well, who did that? And I kind of said, that guy over there. So I walked up to him and confronted him about my bat, you know. And that's a story I'm going to tell later on. But the way people, and I know all of them aren't like this, is just, that's the part I really didn't understand when I was doing bat reviews. Because when you're doing bat reviews, you tend to be catered a little bit more until you compete against them. But when you start competing against people, people tend to get very angry. And not a lot. And I say people I'm saying companies tend to get angry. And not all of them, guys. And I will say this, you know, Suncoast was probably one of the best. There was a couple of other ones that were there that were really good and would come up and talk. And Suncoast across from us would come over and talk. You know, it wasn't them, just to let you know, because of what happened when they're talking trash about my bat, and it wasn't them. There are some people out there that now that I'm no longer doing bat reviews, that are doing bat reviews, that have requested my bat so they can trash it. That's another thing out there too, and I'm like, I really don't care. I have no control over that. You know, there are other people out there that have said things about my bat, overhyped. You know, that's how come when you hear me talking about overhyped, I'm usually talking what they had said. And I'm not going to call you guys out. I'm just saying, you know, I think it's something that I never did. So it's hard to look from the outside, from the inside out now. I'm not looking from the outside in, because I was catered to for the last 15 years. A lot of people, especially not the last 15 guys, last 6 or 7 years I was catered because I would tell the truth. And a lot of people were afraid to send me stuff because, you know, because they're afraid of getting trashed. Now that I'm on the inside, you know, and I'm looking out, I understand a lot more about how bats are made, for one, the integrity of people, for another one too. And I just shake my head. And there's nothing really I can do about it. Really nothing I can do about it. I will write a book one day, you know. I will tell you that. And it will be out. I already got, my daughter's gonna, I've already been talking about it for years, and my daughter in the next 10, 15 years will actually publish that book. And I will say this, you know, I learned a lot about batches. I learned a lot about runs, different kinds of bats, you know, the way they were made, the way they were transported from point A to point B. It's just that it's a totally different animal in here, man. It's kind of sad because there's so much room for everybody, even the new bat companies. The bat companies that are coming up, you know, just prepare you guys for the and I know you're going to catch a lot of shit, is I'm now with y'all guys, because this is a fairly new company I'm with right now, and I'm on the outside looking, I'm on the inside looking out, girl. And it's different, I will say that. But I that's the part where I'm confrontational, because I went up to that bat manufacturer and I asked him, what did you say? And I audio taped the whole thing. Actually videotaped the whole thing. He didn't know it, but I did. That way, if I'm ever called out like I'm lying, then I can show you the video. It's about a 10-minute video. And then he called those other guys liars. So this is my first experience with that, and I didn't know that, because I was actually catered to for the last 5 years. Yeah. The bad side. I actually wrote that in there. The bad side about making bats, and actually being the new kid in town, being the new short porch in town, that actually is getting all these people coming up to us and all the crowds. And that's another thing too. You know, we audio tape. Actually, I Facebook Live everything. That, guys, you can see the crowds, you can see everything. You know, it's just not us talking about it. You know, that's how come I've done my videos. You guys can, if you know what kind of hitter I am, I have videos of me hitting for the last 15 years on there. It's no longer me talking about shit. You know, I got to have proof. I just can't sit there and talk about me hitting. I can't sit there and talk about, hey, we got this crowd of people and they're coming over there and asking questions. You guys saw it. You guys seen it on the Facebook Live. That's how come I like doing that shit. And I'm not going to stop. A lot of you guys were afraid that I was going to stop doing the Facebook Live and talk about health, nutrition, hitting, weightlifting. I'm not. That's actually going to get bigger, guys. That's going to get bigger, because y'all guys are, you know, y'all are the voice for me, actually. Another thing too is a lot of the ideas that I have, not most of them, probably around 30% of the ideas that I've had for the last 15 years came from my minions. You know, I put a born on date, and I'm not going to call this guy out, but he did call me out, not by name or anything, and we're friends. I mean, took a picture with him, born on date. He was the first one to apply it. I was the second one to apply it, but the first people to actually mention that to me were the minions. 10, 15 years ago were the minions. What's a better way to, and it was all about, we were talking about what's the best way to describe batches? Like, how can we know what batch this is? That was the big concern a long time ago. So a few of the minions came up and said, born on date. When was the bat manufactured? Can you put a code in there? A barcode. When was the bat manufactured? Is the first batch, second batch, third batch? So I'd mentioned that through the years, and then all of a sudden somebody applied it and called it their own. Well, no, that wasn't your own. That was the minions that actually came up with that shit. That wasn't you. You applied. You were the first one to apply it. I will say that. But that was the minions that did that. And I voiced my opinion on it on my podcast for the last 15 years. On my videos for the last 15 years, I talked about it. So it was 15 years ago. Minions. A lot of the writing on the bats going forward, because I just put a little bit on there the first time when it came to my bat, and now the writings on there. Quit it, Clem. All the writings on there are from the minions, talking to me about that. So I actually listened to you guys, just to let you know. I listened to you. I just didn't blow you off. A lot of you guys talked about how to you know, the rollover cap when it comes to, you know, making sure your bat wasn't shaved. Or a lot of you guys were talking about, you know, maybe putting a chip in it. That came from the minions, guys. Wow. I saw something. I want to talk to you guys about it. Big League Dreams. Not only Big League Dreams, I saw it somewhere else too. You guys are leaving your bats out in the sun. There are some rocks before you got into the dugout of Big League Dreams, and you guys are taking your bats and leaving them out in the sun. And this was I think it was during the 50s is when they did it, and I seen it in the 40s. The worst thing you can do. Worst thing you can do. And a lot of you guys are thinking that it's going to lose compression and make them hotter. That has a lot to do with your bat speed. It has nothing to do with, it doesn't apply to every person. So when you take your bats out and you lay them in those rocks in that 105, you got 107 one day, and you're taking that bat and you're throwing it out there in that sun and those rocks, you're losing compression. So if you guys have that 75, 80, 85, 90, 95 a mile an hour, your bat is going to lose compression and implode on you. Your barrel's going to lose compression and implode on you. If you guys are doing it because you have that diminishing bat speed, which I did not see that in the dugout, you know, it might help a little bit, you know, especially if it's cold out, you know, if you're hitting 55, 60-degree weather. A lot of the older seniors with that diminishing bat speed can actually do that. It will help the performance. But you're talking about dropping 10 pounds of pressure. 10 pounds of pressure, guys. Tara, I'm talking about guys that actually deliberately do that on purpose to bring the compression down. You're doing yourself a disservice when you do that, especially with a higher bat speed. And I just called out the number 75 all the way up to 100. You're actually making your bat implode on you. So when you get up there and you smoke one, and that ball doesn't go anywhere, and knuckles on you a little bit, you know, doesn't go anywhere. That's the barrel absorbing the ball because your compression level is too low. So don't do that, especially those guys that have that 75 plus mile an hour, 70 plus mile an hour bat speed. You're doing it wrong. Now, if you got that minus 75, you got that 55, 60, 65, a lot of the ladies can get away with doing that out there, leaving the bat out there. But then again, guys, it was hot all the way from the morning to the afternoon. There's a certain point where what you're doing too is you're damaging your bat. You're leaving it out in the sun. And you can talk to Leslie about that when you guys see her at a 10 again. You're actually not the carbon, you're not damaging the carbon, but the UV rays on the rosin and the actually adhesives that are on that bat, you're degrading it. You're actually getting rid of all that stuff, and you're making the bat break down. You're prematurely cutting the life of the bat is what you're doing when it comes to that. So guys, I don't leave my shit out in the sun. I try to put it in my bag, or I'll put it, this last time I played, I have a big old, you guys seen it, that black bat holder, and I close it, I put my bats in there, and I try to keep it, you know, out of the sun. In my ball bag, I'll put it in my ball bag. Just do something like that. Do not leave your bats out in the sun, guys. You're actually destroying your bat. And that going into another thing too is on all these OG everything, OG Adidas, OG, and I see this a lot now. I didn't see it a lot 5 years ago, but I see it a lot now, is all the OG Dudleys, all the 2.0 OGs, all of the Adidas and Reeboks, guys, those bats are, in my opinion, wore the F out. They've been outside way too much. They've been left in cars. When you're buying them, you don't know where that bat has been. It could have been in 105-degree weather. It could have been South Texas. It could have been South Florida. It could have been South California. It could have been all that. And you guys don't know it, but you're paying $450. It's not worth the risk. There are bats out there that can perform as good as those with softer barrels. Our bats perform, I think, as good. That's just me. But that's the one thing that I saw that I was like, you got to be kidding me. You know, bats that are compression tested during the day lose compression. You know, I found out because I've done this, guys. That's another thing too. I've done this. I've actually checked the compression. Here I am in South Texas. I'm in San Antonio. You know, 99 degrees outside. I left the bat on my truck, and then I checked the compression before in 75-degree weather. I actually took it out there and tested it again. I have tested other bats when it came to that, and yes, other bats do lose compression more than others when it comes to sunlight and sun. All depends on the rosin that you're using. And a lot of guys heard me talk the last 3.5 weeks. I do love our rosin from Leslie, and putting all that together. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, and I did videos on that actually, and the videos in the archives. I don't know if I'm gonna put them out, or if I don't even care to put them out, because I'm actually exposing a lot of other bat companies out there, and that's not what we're here to do, on losing compression in the sun and comparing our bat to other. I don't know if I want to get too far into that and talk about that. I just wanted, just in case I am at a tent and you guys come up and ask me a question, I can answer the question actually, because I've done the testing on it. That's the reason I do all this shit. That being said, my wife came up with a very good idea the other day, and that I'm gonna keep doing is I'm gonna still be doing weight distribution numbers for myself, not to be. A lot of guys were thinking I'm gonna put videos out. I'm no longer putting videos out on other companies, but what I am gonna do is, because I have this so much knowledge, and you guys talk to me at the tent, you'll know, where you can bring a bat to the tent to me. I can put this one out there because it don't make it anymore. Let's say you guys come to the tent, and this has happened a lot in the last 3 weeks, is you guys bring me this bat, and you walk up to the tent, and I say, okay, what were you swinging, and how well did you swing it? So they come up there and I said, well, I swung with this one. I love this one. I bat 900 with this one. I said, okay, give me that bat, because it's got a crack in it. This one actually has a crack in it. So that bat, it cracked it. He just cracked it at a tournament. What in short porch can you give me that actually has the same weight distribution numbers that this bat does? So they come up to me and they hand this bat to me. So I do scaling on this bat, right? I do scaling on it, and I know what the numbers are I already know what the numbers are on this one, because I have them up here. I actually don't have to scale this bat. This is a 26 ounce, so I already know what the scale numbers are. And I would put you in a bat comparable to what this bat was in weight distribution, because what you want is, you love swinging this bat. You don't want to get away from those weight distribution numbers. So I would put you in a 12-inch barrel, 12.25-inch barrel, pretty close to that inch barrel that this one is. And then I would do the weight distribution numbers the same as ours. Like, we do have bats that have weight distribution numbers everywhere, and they're prime. You know, if you come up to me with they came up to me with another bat. They came up to me with another bat, and this guy argued with me, and he goes, okay, and I'm not going to show you the bat, right? And I'm going to say, he comes up to me and goes, okay, what can you put me into this bat, right? This is another guy. So I said, our balance bat right over there. And he goes, oh, this is end loaded. I go, no, it's not. And he argued with me. I go, no, stop. And my wife already knew, right? She runs and grabs the scale for me. She comes back and she goes, sets it in front of me. He goes, what are you doing? I said, I'm going to prove to you that's a balanced bat. So I scaled it. His hand weight was 12.2. 12.2. This is an end loaded bat. Hand weight on this one is a 9.2. It was 3 ounces heavier in the hands. His was 3 ounces heavier in the hands than this one. And this is an end load. And I started trying to explain to him. He goes, wow, I did not know that. Well, he was scaling bats, guys. You have a bat that you like, scale it, you know, and then pick your bat off those scale numbers, because so many companies out there scale their bats different and then call it. And I've said this in the past. They call it whatever they want to call it, and then throw it out there hoping that you're going to like it, but you're not getting any performance out of it because you like swinging end load, and that might be a balanced bat. I will say this, that the day of the way the balanced bats were loaded are actually over with. We found out new ways of loading balanced bats where you get that loaded, you get that balanced load feel, but you still get performance out of the barrel, because we still go up a little bit up on the hand weight, but our barrel is up. We don't go down on the barrel, on the end weight. So it's just, our bats are loaded different than a lot of companies out there. I can talk about my bat a little bit, but I don't think I will, because we sold out. And I think I'm done. I already talked about that. What I like about a lot of you guys, and I just saw this right here, What I like, Sarah, how are you doing? What I liked about a lot of you guys, you men out there, and I hope your wife's not watching me. I really don't. If she is, can you send her out of the room if your wife is watching? Because I'm going to talk about what you're doing. A lot of the guys, especially the 60, 65, 70, 75, 80-year-old guys, would walk up to the tent with an envelope in their hand. And they would open it up and have cash in it. So they would buy bats, and I know what they're doing because they would actually have slush money, what they call slush money, and they would actually come up to the tent and pay in cash, right? That way they don't run it on a card, and the wife finds out that they're actually buying bats. So that's a good idea. I like that shit. And then I would look at him like, okay, I see what you're doing. Walk up to the tent in an envelope, and that's where he would buy all of his stuff. He'd buy merch off the envelope, or he'd buy other stuff off the envelope, and that was funny as shit because it was like, damn, buy my hunting gear like that from now on. Just have a slush fund at the end of the year, and whatever they did during the year, which I actually like about what they were doing, whatever they did during the year, mow grass or whatever, clean gutters for other people, and just get that little bit of slush money and put it in the envelope. The wife doesn't see it, and then once they go to Vegas, they pull it out. So if they're paying with that slush money, that's pretty good. That way a lot of guys walk around just buying everything out there too. I mean, that's pretty cool, getting a taste of all of it. So I thought that was, before I go to Jeff here, so I think he's still on here, well, is guys, I don't have bats to sell. I do not have bats to sell. A lot of you guys are messaging me and goes, hey, do you have any more of your bats left over? The only bats I have left over are mine. I have two of them. One's my gamer, and the other one's my bat that I'll hit. I will be in Phoenix, Arizona on the 12th, I think, of November, playing in that tournament that they have there every year for next year. So I'll be playing 65s in that tournament with a team out of Denver. And that'll be my first tournament for next year with this new team that I'm going to be playing with. And it's a 65 team. But a lot of you guys are asking me about about any bat. Hey, I'll send you a PayPal. No, I don't do that, man. I don't know. Everything has to be ran through Short Porch website and get on there, and you guys can order bats. I don't have the only bats I have here are my two bats. A backup, I have Clem's, one of the bats that's Clem's that's here, that's going to go to him, and all the bats that my brothers, I call them, David Ireland and Ron Yeager, and I even have the player model, Brandon Murray. I have those bats here, and a couple of the wig poppers that actually lost compression. So what they do is they give them to me to bring back home for the ladies, because that compression level is about 160. And they had them tested, so they're about 160, 165 in that area, 150, and they know that they can't use that bat anymore. So those are the only bats that I have here. I don't have bats for sale, and I just tell the guys, hey, just go to the website and order them from there. That way, everything. I do not carry bats in my truck or in my car to sell. I don't. That's not me. I don't do that. I did bring home some bats that we're going to talk about here in a minute to swing. The Vegas Bomb, I think that is a badass bat, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But guys, I don't sell bats, nor do I have nothing to do with reps for players. A lot of guys are actually messaging me thinking that I have this, where I'm doing all that. I think that's Christian's job. Where he's going to be, he does all that. So it actually, everything runs through Christian when it comes to that. So I know a lot of you guys, it's just something that I don't, I do have a few of my guys that I want to be that player rep, that what do they call it? It's just the guys that actually will represent Short Porch and just their integrity on how they are, because we do actually vet really good when it comes to actually guys that are going to swing our bats, and we want good people out there. Not saying you're not, I'm just saying a lot of you guys are asking me, would you like to sponsor a team? I'm not in charge of that. I don't do that. I think that runs through Jeff and Christian, Leslie will have something to do that too. So what I try to stay away. I'll try to stay away from with all that crap. Zena, it's funny how you're watching, but you can't show up to hit tomorrow. Jeff Kessler.
What's up, man?
How you doing? Hey, I bet you're falling asleep, weren't you? No, you're at work.
Yeah,
Waiting
I'm
for me
still
to come on.
at work, man.
Wait for yourself to come on. You're like, when is he going to get done talking?
That,
You think I did enough for that for the
was
last 3
Leslie.
weeks?
That was like Leslie said, I think Dave might have forgot about you. I'm like, I don't know. All's good though, man. All's good. So
First of all, how's the fort when you got back because of the hurricane?
well, here at Short Porch, it was good. We actually got power back before most of the town, so some people were running over here. Leslie's boy actually stayed here, slept the night, I believe, and people were putting stuff in the freezer and refrigerator, and you know, it was just trash. The parking lot was trashed. We had a crew come out. They cleaned it up though. Right after I got back, I mean, they had 7 guys come out clean up all the limbs and all the debris around the around Short Porch. You know, we had minor damage like at the homes, but nothing we can't handle. You know, it's Savannah, hurricanes come around every year. It's nothing that we're not accustomed to be honest.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing that I got is how y'all guys are doing. You know, and I didn't know. I talked to you on the phone when you got back a little bit, but I didn't know how everything was going
Yeah, and
up
you
there.
know, it was chaos because a lot of people here in town didn't have power. So the red lights, a lot of the red lights were out causing traffic issues. School was out. Half the restaurants were down. So the restaurants that were open were just really packed. So it was a little chaotic. Up in Middle Georgia, they had never been really hit by a hurricane. They got 100+ mile-an-hour winds in Middle Georgia. The Dublin, Soperton, Georgia area just got hit really hard, and they're so far from the coast. There's no way a hurricane should have been that bad in that area. It never happened before, so they weren't really used to it in that area, and they still kind of cleaning up there. But you know, me and Christian come through there, and you know, the trees, you could just see, you know, just tens of thousands of trees down, and that causes a lot of power line issues, you know.
Yeah. I just, you know, a lot of people were just asking. So I
Yeah.
just wanted to make sure because they're hearing it from the horse's mouth. And y'all were up and running like yesterday, right? I mean, y'all were actually, was it Monday that y'all actually?
Yeah, so we were only down Friday, and Cage was actually up here some, but UPS wasn't running, so we just didn't ship out. We actually had power, and Cage was here, but we just couldn't ship anything because UPS wasn't moving. So if UPS don't move, then they don't come by, then our shipments don't go out. So
Yeah.
just basically, don't you know, the Friday orders and the Thursday night orders got delayed till Monday. We don't ship on the weekends anyway, so nothing, you know, nothing too bad. So we ran pretty smooth. Didn't have any issues. We had to back our Wig Popper 240 release from today to tomorrow, just because of the day we lost. But we're releasing it tomorrow, you know, at noon, obviously, and so that's kind of all that happened. We just moved that back one day.
Okay, there was a question just asked, and I can answer this pretty well, but I want you to answer it.
Yeah.
But there's a question just asked about the strike. Now, is that going to affect Short Porch? And I already know the answer to that, but
Well,
is it?
absolutely not, because we don't container everything over like I would say almost every sporting goods company in the world does. We're not running containers. We air 3-day express our stuff, UPS, so it comes in it comes in to usually Louisville, Kentucky to Savannah.
And that's
So
by flight,
it does
right?
not go through the
Yeah,
port.
we fly our stuff in.
Yeah, we fly
So,
our stuff in.
so it's not going to affect any of our stuff.
No, it will
Climate
not
control
affect me.
flight it in,
Yeah,
flew it in.
we climate control flight in, and we lose margins there. But like I always say, we're about having the best product, not the cheapest. So
Exactly.
that's where we're going to stay. That's what we do. We're about having the best products we can put in the player's hand.
And I'm asking these questions. I know the answers, but I'm asking questions because these are questions that I've been asked.
Yeah.
Did any of our bats lose compression on compression testing the whole 3 weeks we were there?
No, the only bat they seen was a hangman that was a few years old that had a large size crack in it, and it failed compression. They brought it over to me. To date, to my knowledge, no short porch bat has failed compression at SSUSA, or they have not made me aware. They told me while I was there a few days before the tournament was over that they had no short porch bats, and they have found no short porch bats to be altered. Now, I mean, obviously that could happen, but to date, no short porch bat has failed compression. Our bats, as you know, are known to hold compression.
Definitely, and I've actually talked about that before I came along, and when I was with Senior Softball Bat Reviews, when we first got that, and I noticed it in the OG wig popper when I got that it was not failing compression. I actually gave that bat to somebody at that 160 mark, and it was up in he'll remember it. It was up in Dallas, where I knew it had lost compression for me, and it had striations all up and down the barrel. And I had actually give it to a buddy up there that actually had that lower bat speed. Yeah, that one right there.
Yeah.
And then mine, I had 650 swings on it and lost compression down to 160. And I know that because I had it tested in that first run of testing, and they told me it was 160. And I gave it to a 70-year-old guy that came in the next night at that manager's meeting. Talk about the new the OG. I don't think a lot of people know about that. And basically,
So guys, and you know, and again, I'm not here to throw shade on any company. The you know, when you go back to run originals, a lot of times it's real difficult for companies.
Yeah.
Because you know, for a variety of reasons that I don't want to get into. But as you know, we make our own material. We use our own adhesives and rosins and all these things, so we can develop the exact bat. It's not hard for short porch. It's pretty damn easy even for short porch when there have been failures over the years. So just because of how we operate, not to throw shade at them.
With other companies.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
you can dial it in and get the same product.
Yeah, so we have ran 100 of the OGs because so many guys had these bats, and eventually, like you talked about with the other companies with the OGs, they eventually just get too soft or they get compromised or whatever, and they need new bats. Well, they don't want to change the bat. Doesn't matter what we brought out or whatever. Hey, it's my favorite bat of all time. It's one of the top selling bats of all time. So will y'all rerun it? You know, when you got customers ask for it, I'm like, heck yeah, man, we'll rerun 100 of them, and we can do it. You know, we still have all the same materials. So we reran 100 of these. We sold a good bit today already. We have these online, and they're, you know, you know how good a bat this is. It's not like it's a bad bat. It's a badass bat, and a lot of players are super excited about it. And I will say, because I guess the next question would be let me grab the new one. So this is a softer barrel, guys. The second anniversary is a softer barrel. So if you have a little harder swing speed, if you're an average guy, this bat right here would be a medium to soft, right? This is not a soft barrel like the second anniversary.
That other one's softer,
Yeah. So you know, if you're a slower bat speed guy, the second anniversary one, still go with it. You know, if you're in that medium range, you know, a guy who still hits some home runs, grab the OG. It'll be a great bat for you.
What What about whip in the handle? I already know what question's going to be asked because fat guy BP was on there, Adam's on there. So what about handle stiffness? Are they the same, or are they
Yes.
both?
So the handle stiffness on both of the wig poppers are the same.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's just
they
the
are the
barrel
same.
softness on
Yeah,
the new one.
the barrel softness is the difference on those two.
Good, good. What about that? Okay, those bats dropped today. You only had how many come in?
I believe there were 130 total, and we may be down to 100 already. So
Wow,
yeah.
wow. You said something, I think earlier. What I actually brought up something that looking from the outside in, I did not know this, but especially with y'all, but I've learned something since I was on the inside looking out right now about batches. I actually the very like I don't know how to put this, and you said it earlier really good, is we don't have bad batches. Well, a lot of people, and I think this is the only company that does that, and I know why it does it right now, but because of the material, basically.
Right.
And like you said, that you could dial that OG red wig popper and get the same wig popper that was from 2.5 years ago that you actually came out with because of the material. So basically, that's as far as I want to say that, but the material, where the material is, we have the material. So yeah, I agree 100% in that. Now I didn't know that from the outside looking in, but now on the inside, so I actually understand a lot more now on why in the past 15 years they would come up with different variants in the batches. So that explained that one too. What do you have? What's coming out like on the USSSA, the Wig Popper 240?
Yeah, so we have the USSSA 240, which is a huge drop for us tomorrow. Guy, this is, and I will say, so if you take this bat here and you take this bat, the weight distribution is the same. Okay, so if you're a senior guy, this bat, the Wig Popper 240, will be weighted the same. As you can see, has a registration card. You can scan that. All our U-Trip bats come with a 1-year warranty. To date, we've never had a warranty return on our bats. They hold compression. They perform. As you've seen from all the reviews and the testimonials, this is what we call our soft barrel design, but yet the compression don't hold. And I won't get into all that specifics, but if you hit it, you will feel how soft it is. And if you hit it 200-300 times and ask Adam, Adam will know the bat still holds compression while it's soft, and it performs like crazy. And it's a testament to what we worked on all year to bring this bat out. It is now here. It won't be here for long. We have more in production and even more behind that. It's an incredible bat on the U-Trip side. And like I said, if you're a senior guy and you want to pick one up just to hit during the off season, that's a great bat to pick up with the weight distribution of our other bats, and not have to worry about breaking the bat, hitting it in colder temperatures.
100%. I agree with that too. And the one thing that I was gonna talk about, the one thing about what I think, and I'm trying not to get too far deep in this, but one thing that I see with short porch is that it's holding compression at a higher compression, but you're still getting performance out of that barrel because of where the composite came from. And I'm trying, I'm walking on eggshells here.
So
The material, that's all I gotta
yeah.
say, is because of the material.
Yeah, BPF, or basically exit velocity, that's what matters. Compression at the end of the day, if it was 400 compression and you got a high enough BPF, if you had the exit velocity in the distance, what do you care? Why do you want a bat that fails if you can get a higher compression bat with the same BPF? It makes no sense. It's foolish, but yet this is what's going on. You can grab our bat, it has the highest possible BPF, at a higher compression. The thought that the lower compression is just automatically is increases BPF like it did 20 years ago is insane.
Yeah.
I mean, that's I mean, that's a 20-year-old way of thinking. That's not what's happening here, and it's not what's happening with short porch bats. I have no idea what may be happening. As you know, you've hit a ton of bats, and know, like you said, you know everything about the weight distribution and all the everything to do with the other bats. But I know nothing. I only hit short porch bats. I haven't swung another company's bat, so I couldn't tell you anything.
I will say this, and after yesterday, and I'm writing stuff down that I got to talk about here, but I will say this after yesterday. The one thing that I was telling them earlier was I'm on the inside looking out now, and I get to see the testing. I get to see the numbers, and I can
And
hear the excitement.
what happened
That's
yesterday.
what I.
You know what happened.
That's what I'm. I don't want to get too far into that, but
Yeah, we won't get
the
there.
excitement yesterday morning, whenever the results came back and the paperwork came back, uh, on the numbers and stuff, I understand the numbers, but not to where the way you explained them to me yesterday, because a lot of people wouldn't tell me the numbers back in the day. I had one person
Yeah,
that did, and they were trying to talk about it, but you know the numbers, you know the weight distribution, you know the flex in the handle ties into everything, right? It ties into that. I've
absolutely.
only heard part of it back in the day, but the excitement in your voice yesterday when something had went through, and we'll talk about that probably another couple of weeks, but something that went through and it's ready to go,
Yeah,
and how close it was, and just like wow, and that's all has a lot to do with you guys. I mean that because you're dialing it in and pushing the envelope. I actually, what I said to my wife yesterday, it was about pushing the envelope, not being afraid to push those numbers. And like you said, if it would have failed, then there goes them bats going in the trash. But it did
that's
not.
right.
It did not. And it's going to be going forward. It's going to be something that is freaking awesome, I think. But yeah, definitely. That's the part that I like, is listening to you guys talk about what happened yesterday.
Well, these are things. I know you're coming next month here to Short Porch, and we'll be running in depth through a lot of these things, and just to help you get a better understanding. I know we talk about a lot of these things, and we don't obviously hide anything from Dave, but I think we'll be able to give you a better understanding of things when you get here next month, and you're here for that week or whatever.
Sweet. I cannot wait. It's the first of next month, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and
So
I'll,
yeah,
I'll know more in a few weeks about the actual date, and we'll get that dialed in for sure.
and
And
when are you gonna? I'm not gonna talk too much into this because I know Christian will get mad at me. But and I think we've already talked about this. And 2 years ago, I was at Florida and I was talking to you guys in the parking lot and came up with this. There was this theory that I had about a two-piece bat, and I gave it to you guys, not knowing. I said, "Hey, you really want to build a badass two-piece bat?" And I actually gave you what I thought.
yeah, yeah, in the parking lot, 3 years ago, whatever. I,
Yeah,
I guess, and it
S.A.R.M.S.
was funny. Yeah, it was funny because there was something I wanted to do with the bat, and there was something you wanted to do with the bat, and we were able to kill two birds with one stone, so to speak. And what we found out yesterday is, damn if it didn't work.
Yeah,
And it's an incredible. It's a design that nobody's ever seen before. Somebody was asking earlier about a two-piece soft barrel. Well, you know what's up with that bat and what it'll be. Come out. It'll be an incredible medium soft barrel two-piece bat that'll be out next season. This is 2025 stuff, guys.
and guys, it's revolutionary. It's something that nobody's done before, and it's going to be a two-piece model. It's just something that Short Porch had on the shelf for a couple years, and for it to actually progress the way it has, and you telling me about it. And then Clem, actually, he's right there. He's right there watching. But I told Clem about it, and 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 he's all excited because Clem and Trey like that new technology. Now we have Murray and Charlie. They're both, they only know a limited information about it because
Yeah,
it hasn't went through the whole testing yet.
yeah.
But
We just started working on that. We built the first prototype. I know me and you have 3 more coming. And if all goes well, we'll go to production, and it should be out, first of the year. We also, I know, and we've talked about this for years now, USA, ASA, till we've been blue in the face. How many times do you get asked about USA, ASA
oh
lead
my,
bats, right?
yeah,
God,
the
all
whole
the
time I was up there,
time.
people coming up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So, um, today we sent off our USASA bats to the sports science lab. We just got the paperwork and all pushed through. So they will go to testing over the next few weeks. Once we get through testing, then we'll go into production with the USASA pitch, which is another brand new tech that Short Porch has never done before. That will be released at the time of release of the bat. The information on that to the players. Just an incredible design. One of the most difficult designs we've ever done to date. And the thing is, it's a damn good bat, and we can't wait for it. I got some guys up in northeast, mainly Scott Jacobs. Shout out to Scott. He plays a ton of USA ASA ball up that way, and they've been waiting for him. So, that's another whole realm of things we're going into next year. And what comes after that? The fast pitch too. So
oh, definitely.
it's the same technology. The fast pitch is the same technology. That's why we're gonna be able to pivot off that and move into it at the same time.
Yeah,
So,
but a lot of people, and I want to clarify this too. This is stuff that's in the future, and we're just
yeah,
talking about it now, like
yeah.
what's going on in the future, and like we talked about transparency too. This is stuff that's not coming out, soon. This is stuff that's going to be
No, no.
released
This
that's down the road, and just give you guys an idea of the new technology that Short Porch is coming up with, and letting you guys know about it. Because I think the internet, like what we're doing right now, is the way people are going to watch. And we've talked about this before, up to the point where doing a bunch of collabing with, like we were with Matt Barnes, and then SSUSA. We talked to Terry at one of those managers meeting where we're going to collab with SSUSA about getting on social media a lot more. And I actually told him about this too. You told him about this too. Is a lot of people that are misinformed about SSUSA. And the one thing I will say that when I was there, I did see a lot of good things that are going forward with SSUSA. One is the umpiring. Oh, I have not seen umpiring like that in a big organization like that in a long time. There were a lot of really good umpires. I went up to and told them that, man, you guys are doing everything right. Everything, consistency, because that's basically what you want in an umpire. You don't even know you don't even want to know the umpires there. And with SSUSA, I think this year was probably one of the best years in umpires that I saw. And I'm not saying absolutes, guys. It's nothing too. I'm not saying I wasn't at every field, but I was at a lot of fields.
Yeah.
And from what I can gather, they were spot on a lot of them, and the rules and everything too.
Well, you were out there. You played a good bit of games, and you watched a good bit of games, and I did too. And I'm sure there were bad calls, but I didn't see one. And to speak to SSUSA guys, nobody's perfect. Understand there were a few hiccups out there. There they did an incredible job with the size of the tournament, organizing it and putting out a product. You know, throughout a month in tough conditions. And
Hey,
let me tell you, it's they don't have a huge staff. They're a smaller company than people would think. I would say that our short board staff is larger than SSUSA staff. So there's not a lot of people there, and to put everything together. And I thought they did an incredible job. And hats off to Terry and Miss Fran. We love them guys, and we thought they did a very good job.
I agree with you 100%. And you're going to have hiccups when you have that many teams being ran through there. You're going to have hiccups somewhere. I just think the hiccups were not as wasn't as many as there was that I've seen in the past. I've been going there for 15 years.
Yeah.
You know, and I've been the most critical person on umpires there. But I'll tell you what, whenever you're doing a hell of a job, I'll give that its due too, and I'll tell you, you did a hell of a job. You know, and I've
Yeah.
been really critical on umpires there. But it wasn't like that this year. I did see a big change in it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Bob O'Brien out there umpiring, and I think he's one of the best in the business. And you know, he's a phenomenal player and a great umpire. And you know, I eased over and watched a few of his games. He was calling just because, you know, I like Bob. We talk a little bit here and there. And man, if I was playing, I'd want Bob calling my games. I'll tell you
Yeah,
that. So,
definitely. He's a good guy too.
yeah,
Soft
damn good
spoken,
guy.
humble.
Yeah,
Yeah,
soft, humble.
yeah,
So,
he's a good guy. What else we got coming? And I know we're doing
um,
Facebook Live tomorrow with the
yeah,
240.
so you know the Wig Popper 240 that really don't need no introduction. You know, after that on the senior side, we have some Big Daddy Autism bats. A small run of those coming in. I mean, very small. That's for the higher bat speed guys, medium, high. We wanted to make sure that we had a bat coming in case we ran out of the player bats, which we still have. Maybe just a I'm not even sure, maybe 80 player bats left of the Brandon Murray. So if you follow Short Porch guys, you know we want to have a soft barrel, medium barrel, hard barrel in stock. So we'll have some of them Big Daddy bats. It's a really good looking bat if they remember the white autism Big Daddy bat. That'll be coming in, as well as a restock on the baby blue wig poppers. And how popular is the baby blue wig popper? You've seen it firsthand in Vegas, right?
Wow. I mean, everybody. I think what people did in the tent was they bought one of those, and they bought one of whatever else they were going to buy. Like they
That's right.
bought, you know, a Naya bat, and then they would buy a baby blue wig popper too. And I'm like, and I'm telling him like, oh, you know, it's a balanced bat, right? He goes, yeah, but it's good. And I'm like, okay, you know, I don't want to talk him out of it. What about how many Vegas bombs we have left? Because that's another bat too that I think.
You know, the Vegas bomb called on with the 50s right there the last week. We didn't move a lot of them with the older groups. We probably have 120 out of the 400 we had, maybe 150. I'm not quite sure. We did move through some of them, but we still got a good bit of those left. Great bat. Everybody who hit it come back. I mean, you
Josh
seen what the players who
saw it.
had it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were.
they didn't want to jump on they didn't want to pull the trigger, but when their buddy did and they hit it on the other field, they automatically came back and bought two of them.
Yeah, they kept
Yeah.
coming back and buying them. So, you know, that bat, Todd and Sarah's going to the ISSA maybe. I hope I'm saying that right. Nationals in Myrtle Beach. And next week they'll be taking a bunch of the Vegas bombs there. Guys, it's a badass bat. You know, if you're over there, see Todd and Sarah, grab one. Of course, we got free shipping on our site. We still have our Vegas discount code up on our website, I believe, so which is a pretty good discount. So you could probably get away with that for the next week or so if you want to get that discount that we were giving in Vegas.
What is the how's the cherry bomb? You have it? Do you have we have
Oh,
some of
so
those
the
left?
cherry bomb sold out here, but we brought back a few of them from Vegas. Not many. When I say a few, like 8. So we have a couple here, and we're reloading on the cherry bomb. So we're gonna have a run of them come in end of the week, probably next week because it's Wednesday already. It'll be here Friday or next week. So we'll have a run of the cherry bomb also coming in.
And that's for that low bat speed. A lot of men were buying that bat too and getting great performance on it. A lot of those 70-year-old, 65-year-old guys were actually buying that bat and getting great performance on it.
And I'll tell you,
But yeah, we'll be hitting
it's getting
tomorrow.
it's
Go ahead.
It's getting more and more popular, not with just the females, but with the men who, yeah, you're right, have the lower bat speed, as well as the second anniversary wig popper. The reviews on that, the testimonials on the second anniversary wig popper, as well as your bat, which I think we only have 2 or 3 27s left. Guys, Dave's bat was exceptional. Everybody who bought it loved it. They come over, they talk to Dave about it. It's the only reason we didn't run more is because we're moving to our 2025 model. So
Yeah. See, that's another thing. A lot of people were asking me if it was going to be. That's the first. That's the first one. That's the only run. We're not going
yeah,
to be doing another run, as you would say, or another
yeah. If
batch
you
that would be shipped.
remember, we were gonna have a run come in right behind it, but we were looking at the 2025 models. So I pulled back from that. And maybe we shouldn't have. Nothing I can do about it now. But I know we were looking forward in the 2025 models and what we're producing to get ready for next season, right?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah,
And I agree. I agree 100% of that. Whenever you said this is the first and only run, and it wasn't bad for what we threw together either, right?
yeah.
I mean, it
Yeah, I
wasn't.
mean, we had limited time, so guys, I was in San Antonio when Dave come on with us, and we had to put that bat together very quick to even get it in Vegas, and it turned out to be an exceptional bat, and we wanted to make sure we had it there for Vegas Worlds, and man, I'm glad we did. Everybody loved it, and hey, the bat sold out. It was, 350 of them, they're gone, so testament to not only the bat, but to your name on the bat. So, we appreciate you, Dave, for that.
Thanks. What I like what we're doing is putting out testimonials of people, average people, which is what we like is what we cater to a little bit, like the double A, triple A,
Yeah,
some of the major guys, the testimonial that they came back, and I actually putting those out quite a bit. And I know you've been throwing some out there too, and then
for
you're
sure.
actually doing a lot of TikTok now too. I actually saw that in the last few days.
So,
Is
we have a
all
lot of, TikTok is obviously a big platform with the 20-year-olds age group, and which is a large number of USSSA players play there, and it's something we're going to do more. And I think, some of the seniors get on TikTok. Heck, I love TikTok. I'm
yeah.
not going to knock TikTok. So I think we can do a better job putting content on there, and we've been trying to put things on there for players to watch, and not just inform them about our bats, but to just enjoy watching the swings on there, and as they flip through TikTok.
I agree 100%. Social media is the way to go. You said that in one of our meetings too, that, you know, uh, social media is the way to get a lot of information out there without having everybody get it one tournament like they've been doing in the past and actually
Yeah,
talking about our product. And I think we can reach so many people when it comes to social media. I think that's a great thing.
yeah. These these podcasts like we're doing right now. How many people come up and said, "Man, we watch y'all on the podcast. We
Oh,
appreciate y'all."
mainly
I know we,
everybody, everybody that I talked to,
you know,
exactly. I know
I know.
you get a lot of feedback from that too.
Yeah, we got a lot of photographs from people who just watch our podcasts and our lives, and these kind of things. And I know man, I'll never catch how many lives and things you've done, but we're gonna be doing more here from Short Porch. I will be going live. I know you'll be live hitting tomorrow. I'll be live right after noon launch, talking just solely for a few minutes about the 240 wig popper, me and Cage. So, we're going to do more of that stuff. I know you encouraged us to do more live stuff on our hit tracks and these kind of things, because, people are tuning in. They want to see the numbers. They want to see the bats perform, and and enjoy watching us, put out content.
And then Alan over there on that on the Gulf Coast too. I mean, I
Man,
know he's probably trying to find places to hit over there, because of what went through there. But yeah, Alan getting out there and put a lot. I think he was on live today too, a
yeah,
little bit
Alan
early.
was on maybe when you got on tonight. So he started at 8 Eastern time. He texted me and I'm like, man, we're going on live at 8:30. I shared it on our page, but I didn't get to watch it because I was preparing to come on with you tonight. And I talked to Alan today, and I'll be honest. Me and Alan has spent a lot of time together. We talked in depth today about the direction Gulf Coast Short Porch was going, and just telling him what a great job he's doing, and how we want to keep pushing forward to just bring information to the customers and the players about the brand, and how we can do a even better job than we're doing right now. And Alan does a really good job, man. I can't thank Alan enough. What a great freaking good dude,
And yeah, good guys too.
Yeah,
I
Gene
mean, yeah, we went out to eat with them, and I tell you what, man, they're really good guys. Respect them both. The ones that Dean, was it Dean?
Gene, yeah,
Gene,
Gene,
yeah.
yeah. They hit it pretty
Yeah,
good too, right? They can swing it. Those guys can hit it.
yeah, they can really hit it. They knocked the shit out of them. When we were hitting the big league dreams, I was like, damn,
Yeah,
And then Gene going oppo. That guy hits a ball a long way going oppo.
yeah. Gene was impressive. I knew Alan. Everybody, the story on Alan, his reputation was he could hit the ball hard, and he was a pro hitter. What I mean by a pro hitter is he bats for a high average. And Gene, I could have sworn, I may be wrong, I could have swore I heard he was like a base hitter, a leadoff type guy. He started jacking bombs, oppo, and I was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, but he was
But
swinging that baby blue wig popper though too. Yeah, he was
yeah,
swinging that,
hey,
knocking the shit out of the ball.
we weren't hiding. We were on live. We weren't hiding from nobody. We're just regular guys that play a little bit, and yeah, we were hitting the ball hard.
Yeah, I had a good time with all them guys, man. And the deal about it, and I've said this in the past too, is the group of people that you have involved with short ports, the integrity of everybody too. There's no jackasses. There's no I'm mightier than thou. There was none of that. The whole time that I can see that I was there, and that's what I like about what short ports, what you guys are building here too. So I think that's amazing.
Yeah, man, all the guys, I know we can't go through all the short boards guys, it's too many. I will drop Brandon Murray's name because damn, the ball he hit at Big League Dreams. He hit a bait fire probably further than any bait fire ever been hitting on the man
Yeah,
on that day. And we thought it was 500 plus for sure. And 540 maybe was our best guess. And I'm like, we're not posting that because nobody's even going to believe us. But we seen it. We were there. Clem, I believe, Clem or Allen, or one of them was behind the field, so they seen where it
yeah,
landed.
they saw
I
what
believe it was
landed.
Clem. Yeah, it was Clem.
I
So
watched it when he hit it, and I saw it disappear, and I'm like, that was a bait and fire that he just hit,
yeah, it
and
was a bait and
it never
fire.
came down. It just stayed in the air for a long
Yeah,
time.
guys. So we had a buggy full of bait and fires because those guys were about to play. We wanted them hitting the same balls that they were hitting in the tournament. So that's the deal, and it's not a great ball. Nothing against SSUSA for using that ball. It's a cheaper ball. I'm sure they get it because of the cost. But it doesn't fly that well. It surely don't fly well on the East Coast. But Brandon hit that dang thing. It was just insane, man. I mean, he's a strong guy, though. I mean, seeing him up close and being around him a lot, he's more impressive than you would even realize.
Yeah, he puts the work in too.
Yeah, man.
I talked to him for an hour. I talked to him every night that he was there at the house before he went off and got a room. But he was there talking to us, and he's got a wealth of knowledge, and he knows a lot of people. Knows some of the old people that I know because he played out of Texas for a while too, and Louisiana area back in the day. So a lot of people that he knew, I knew growing up. So yeah, and a wealth of knowledge about working out and weightlifting and eating and training and just being prepared for a tournament. What to eat in the mornings. He had his own little regimen that peanut butter and remember peanut butter and oatmeal in the mornings. So I admire that because it takes a lot of strength to actually keep on that path and do that stuff. It takes a lot of discipline, basically.
Yeah, Brandon has a lot of discipline. He's a pretty intense guy. And, I think he's the most powerful senior hitter I've ever seen. There may be a more powerful guy out there. I haven't seen him, is what I could tell you. But he's a great dude. I'm glad he's on our side, and all the guys, from DI to Jaeger to Scott Jacobs, to Mania, like I said, just run through, from Stacy to, Rachel, I see Rachel popping on all the time. So,
Yeah.
yeah, she's doing a great job, and
Rachel,
we're thankful for everybody.
yeah, Rachel's off that West Coast, and she showed up to the managers meeting and basically talked about, that was the one where she was talking about bats, and you told him that you were going to get a bat out to him. Got a bat out to him in the morning, that next morning, and in her sixth swing, one of her teammates hit that grand slam out of a
That's right.
300 park, and with that
Yeah,
that
guy.
that bat right
Second
there.
anniversary wig popper. It was brand new. Girl hit a grand slam. Fade and fire, big league dreams. That happened.
Yeah,
So
and it's
you
on
can't hide
TV. That's
that.
nothing too. They got it on. They got it on. They
Yeah,
televised
they
it.
got it
So
on video.
yeah.
This isn't just us making things up. And it was incredible, man. It was an incredible month. Again, thank you for everything. I know it's late. I won't hold you up, and we appreciate it. And we'll be going live here tomorrow after the bat drop. And we're going to be putting out some of the videos of the OG stuff also. So guys, stay tuned for that. There's some really cool, fun videos that Dave shot. We'll be putting clips out of that, from a few years ago also.
All right,
But we
brother.
appreciate
Take
it. All
care.
right. Thank you, man.
All right,
Peace
see
out.
you later. When Jeff, there you go. Jeff got off. Guys, I can't talk about a lot of stuff that's going on, and you guys know me. I don't bullshit you. I shoot it straight from the hip. But there is, and I'm involved in it. There's a lot of good shit coming. There's a lot of new technology coming. Stay tuned. You know, there is new tech that's going to be changing. I think it's a game changer. Two different ways. One with material, and the other one is with weight distribution on that two-piece bat. And then, guys, just stay tuned. We're going to start running these. Well, actually, we have been running these podcasts every Wednesday, and I might pick another day. That way, I can just get on there. I might run two of them. One might be on a Wednesday, and the other one might be on a Friday, and basically talk more what has happened with this right here when it comes to talking on Wednesday, because I like to get Jeff talking about just the new stuff, because I think we actually collab really, really good here and don't talk over each other as much, a little bit, but not as much. And you guys can get it straight from him on what's going on, because he's in Savannah. And basically, maybe do a Friday night podcast where I'm talking about health nutrition, and I don't want that to go away. I don't want any of that to go away, because a lot of people that talk to me for the last 3 weeks love hearing that new stuff, that new supplement that's out there that actually can help you or get you off some of the medication that you are taking. Fasting, um, doing a lot of fasting when it comes to first thing I talked to somebody the other day what I would do when they hit those little sticking points, and then talk about weightlifting on that Friday night. So basically, that's what I want to do. Open it up where 2 nights a week instead of just 1 night a week. Run that by you guys if y'all guys want to do that, because I think what's happening, especially going forward with all the new stuff that's going to be here, talking about that, it just takes up a lot of time tonight, especially because I didn't think we're going to be on here this long. And I will see you guys maybe Friday. I might even run it on Friday. I know we're going to do Facebook Live tomorrow. And guys, thanks for the love. It's freaking amazing talking to you guys out there, taking pictures. I don't think I'm worthy, but you guys want to take pictures with me, and I think that's an honor for me to you guys that you have been listening, I guess. And I have changed the way you look at things, or I have changed the way you picking bats up, bat speed, or I have changed your diet. I have changed testosterone, hormone replacement therapy. Little something like that makes me feel good. I'll see you Friday, guys.